Good evening, Armada Band and Orchestra families, parents, students, and welcome to our virtual band and orchestra banquet this evening. I don't know if you recall, but approximately a year ago today, we were all on the YouTube again, and I said, welcome to the first and last annual virtual Armada Band and Orchestra banquet. And I guess I should have knocked on some wood or something, because here we are again. But anyway, I'm happy to be here. I know we would probably all rather be in person. Trust me, I understand that. But honestly, at this point, I'm just happy that we got our concert in last week and that we get the opportunity to have this night and recognize all the accomplishments that the students have had throughout the year. Before we begin, I want to begin with a few thank yous for certain people. Running this band and orchestra program here at the high school is no easy task. And honestly, I couldn't ever possibly do it all by myself. And it involves a lot of different people and a lot of different groups that all team together to make everything we do here possible. So I'll begin with the Armada area schools music staff, Miss Neva Kirksey, who teaches band and orchestra at the Armada Middle School. We have Mrs. Rachel Ulinski, who's our choir teacher at both the middle school and high school, and Miss Sarah Carlson, our Krause Elementary School general music teacher. I really wouldn't be able to do anything I do without the help of those three individuals. And in fact, even I'm the only music teacher in the district that's lucky enough to have all of my students go through so many other music teachers prior to them getting up to me, both with the elementary school music program where the students are learning general rhythm things, pitch, tempo, steady pulse, a lot of the basics of music instruction. To where they go to the middle school and have either band or choir or orchestra experience there under Ms. Kirksey, or many of you also were with Mr. Thomason, and I would like to thank him as well. I didn't put him in my notes, but he did a lot for a lot of the students that are here at the high school now also. Also honored to report, I'm sure some of you saw the good news that for the 4th year in a row, Armada Area Schools was selected by the NAM Foundation as one of the best school districts for music education in the United States. We're one of, I want to say 14 districts in Michigan to receive that recognition. So it's a pleasure to teach alongside such talented music educators in Armada. In addition, I also want to thank our marching staff. Again, marching band is probably one of the biggest undertakings our students have each year, and I definitely could not do it alone. So we had, this past season, we had color guard instructors, Rose Antilla and Audrey Jones. We had our drill writer and music and visual tech, Mr. Trevor Pritchett. We had 2 more music and visual staff members, Nick Voisich and Paige Greider. And actually, Miss Greider will be student teaching with me next year. And some of the students have already met her. She's been in a couple of times, even today, actually, to work with our orchestra, doing some sight reading. And then finally, our battery instructor, Mr. Matt Kokotovich. I'd also like to thank the Armada Area Schools Administration. And I mentioned them briefly at our concert, but I just want to throw out recognition to Mr. Mussery and Mr. Jankowski, the superintendent and assistant superintendent. And if you haven't heard the news yet, actually, Mr. Jankowski recently got offered the job as head superintendent at Anchor Bay School. So he unfortunately will be leaving us at the end of this year. So we're blessed to have him work with our district for the past, I don't even know how long he's been here. He's been here for quite a little bit. And it's been a pleasure to work with him over the years, and we wish him the best of luck in his new assignment at Anchor Bay. In addition, the building administrators here, Mrs. Kelly Skopna and Mr. Mark Wachewski, who have really worked harder than I have ever seen administrators work in a school year with all things relating to the pandemic. And really just, it feels great as a teacher to know that we are supported as a teaching staff by our building administrators, and they really are constantly doing a lot for all of us to make sure we feel supported and ready to teach our students every day. In addition, Mr. Don Holston, our athletic director and the academy principal, we don't work with him a ton except for in the fall when it's marching band season, but there's a lot of logistics coordination that happens for football games and other things of that nature. So thanks to Don as well. I also like to thank our Armada Music Boosters. I really would like to thank everybody involved with the Music Boosters, even though we didn't meet formally at all this year, just without having any fundraising, well, just a few smaller fundraisers and mainly no fare parking, which is obviously our largest fundraiser each year. and really not many performance events either. We decided not to meet, but there are two people in particular I want to recognize. I recognize them at the concert too, but can't hurt to recognize them again now because I know they're probably both here. Our treasurer, Trish Leprich, has been phenomenal, and she's been kind of my right-hand go-to person whenever I need anything. She put together the gift baskets for our seniors for the concert and has taken care of all our finances. She's the treasurer with the booster group, so I'd like to give her big thanks. And also Miss Emily Barbarette, who's a fourth grade teacher here in Armada Schools, but she has done a lot over the years coordinating many of our fundraisers, including the big pizza kit fundraiser, which is quite a big undertaking. And she's done that for the past several years. Unfortunately, her son, well, maybe fortunately, it's a good thing, right? But her daughter, Allison, will be graduating this year, so she will no longer be with us. So thank you, Emily, for all you've done over the past several years for our group. This video stream, if you didn't figure it out by the number of remind messages you got last week regarding the live stream of our concert and the number of issues we had, live streaming is not my forte. So today, I'm honored to have a friend of mine from back when we were in college at Oakland University running our live stream tonight, Mr. Chris Owen. He's the director of bands and actually some orchestras now too at Ruther Middle School, and that's in Rochester Community Schools. And Chris has done a lot for me beyond just this video feed also. I have always said that I think some of the best professional development that band directors get as teachers is just the time we hang out with other band directors. And honestly, without fail, whenever I'm hanging out with band director friends of mine, we talk about band. And unfortunately, I don't have too many orchestra director friends, so that doesn't come up a ton. But when I am with orchestra people, that also comes up. But we're all that nerdy that we just talk about this all day long. But just having such good colleagues like Mr. Owen to bounce ideas off of and things. And in fact, some of the things that we've done in class, I'm sure have been ideas of Mr. Owen. So appreciate all that he gave up his evening tonight to run this feed for us. Finally, the last two groups I want to thank are maybe most importantly, people are saying they can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? I guess comment on the chat if you can hear me. We'll see if we can get that figured out. Okay. Yeah, maybe it is just a technology problem on their end. So it looks like I can hear myself. Oh yeah, I hear myself. So if you're having trouble hearing me, I'm guessing maybe kind of check into your own things and make sure all your own technology is working, because my feed, yeah, there they all come. Everyone can hear me. Okay, cool. Sorry about that long delay. Anyway, so I want to thank every parent of any student in the Armada Band and Orchestra program. I know it takes a lot to drive your child up here for big concerts and for rehearsals, especially marching band parents. There's quite a bit of extra time involved with that. And it takes a lot to support a kid through band and orchestra through high school. So thank you for all you've done financially to support your child, as well as all the time you put into allowing them the opportunity to learn music in our program here. And finally, the students, because obviously without the students, this program isn't possible. And we will recognize them a lot more in a little bit. So normally I write a rather extensive director's address for this banquet each year. And in that address, I talk about the accomplishments we've had over the course of the year and all of the awards and accolades we received, which fortunately we usually are plentiful in that department. Unfortunately, not much happened this year. And I think just with the nature of the year, I didn't even write anything. This is all just kind of off the cuff, me speaking to you. But I guess I will highlight the few statistical things that have happened this year. So for the first time since 2013, the Tiger Marching Band earned straight first division ratings from all the judges at MSBOA District 16 Marching Band Festival. Couldn't be more proud with all the challenges we had this year, getting rehearsals together and even just not having an away band camp. I think a lot of parents don't understand how big of a difference being at home for band camp versus being away for band camp makes. Not only do we have a lot more rehearsal time when we're able to go away, but just the focus and attitude and everything, it really creates the family team bonding atmosphere that just makes learning possible out on that football field. And it definitely didn't have the same environment when we're home. We'll make the best of it in either situation. I know we're still kind of in a spot where we don't entirely know if we will be going away to camp or not next year. It's starting to look more and more favorably that we will be able to go, but as I mentioned yesterday, we had a couple roadblocks come up that we're working through. Luckily, so far, people have been flexible and willing to even discount our group a little bit to hopefully get us to still be able to come. And I look forward to hopefully being able to give you final information with that also. We did have a number of people suggest fundraising opportunities and things that I'm looking into also. Trust me, I know the financial burden that band camp can take, not just band camp, but that is the marching band fee for the whole season. I understand that $300 to $325, depending on what it ends up being, is a lot for families to take on just to participate in marching band. So I'm going to do everything I can to try and reduce that cost as much as possible. We're looking at fundraising and donation opportunities. And I will hopefully assemble all that and get it back to you as soon as possible. But thanks to those who have already provided feedback for that. So anyway, that's our marching band accolades. And then we had 7 events this year participate in a virtual MSBOA State Solo and Ensemble Festival. It's the first time it's ever been virtual. So that number's down pretty significantly from where we normally are, but I believe that's just because of the nature that it was virtual. Hopefully when things return to in-person next year, it'll be closer to normal. But of the 7 events that we had attend that, 6 of them earned Division I ratings. So that's probably the highest percentage of Division I ratings we've ever had at an MSBOA solo and ensemble event also. So congratulations to all those students as well. I mentioned this to the orchestra kids in class today, but I really I guess I'll end my little address here on this note in that it would have been really easy for our students in all of my classes to kind of just throw in the towel and phone it in this year. We didn't know if we were going to have any performances, a lot of uncertainties. Yes, they had music. We didn't know if we would ever be playing that music for anybody, if we would just be doing it for fun. And without the drive of an opportunity to perform, I could certainly understand just having a feeling of what's the point. And in fact, even me as a director several times, I found myself asking that question. And every day I came back to work and those students were ready to go. They were ready to learn, they were ready to dig in, and they never gave up. They always put their best foot forward and always did everything they could to make this the best musical experiences they could. And that really motivated and inspired me as a teacher to keep going and pushing through. And yeah, we didn't have a performance in the winter, and there was music that we rehearsed for a long time this year and never got to play for you. And honestly, I couldn't have really asked for this year to go any differently with what we had under our control. The students were great to work with, and I said it at the concert, but I'll say it again. I am blessed to work with the best students in Armada across the board, band and orchestra. And I couldn't have done this year and gotten through everything that we did without every student in this program. So I know there's no round of applause. I guess round of applause within your household for the students that are in our program. Okay, next I'd like to move on to our Band and Orchestra Council presentation, specifically the President and Vice President addresses. So our Band and Orchestra Council here in Armada is composed of dedicated band and orchestra students who just want to get in a little bit more involved with band and orchestra. And unfortunately this year, it really was in a significantly reduced capacity compared to what that council normally would do, just without any events and without any social functions. We were really kind of limited in that department, but we do have our historians are working on a slideshow to put together, and that will cover over the past 2 years. And we hope to release that to you via social media, and we'll play it in class as well in the near future, just kind of recapping everything that's happened and some photos and whatnot over the past 2 years. So the Band and Orchestra Council, we have a president and a vice president, and their biggest tasks each year are to address the band and orchestra at the Band and Orchestra Banquet. And in addition to coordinating meetings and organizing with the rest of the council. So first we'll begin with our vice president of the Band and Orchestra Council, Mackenzie Mearshart. Mackenzie is a violist in our string orchestra program. She's a graduating senior. She has been the principal player of the viola section for a number of years now, a really talented musician and an all-around great person. So without further ado, we will turn things over to Mackenzie and her address.
Welcome students and parents to this year's Band and Orchestra Banquet. My name is Mackenzie Mearshart, and I'm the Vice President of this year's Band and Orchestra Council, as well as a violist in the orchestra. And it's an honor for me to have the opportunity to speak in front of you tonight. Let me start off by saying that this year was certainly not a typical one for the Band and Orchestra program. Going into the fall, we had no idea whether we would be able to make music together, like in years past. Things that were once guaranteed to us, such as concerts, band camp, marching season, and even something as simple as just playing together in class, became uncertain. This foreign feeling of tentativeness was a frightening one in nearly all aspects of life. When we are granted the chance to play together again in the fall, it was a saving grace for many of us. We all have a deep respect for music. It's why we're here. However, the potential loss of doing the thing we loved with the people we loved made us that much more thankful for our music community here in Armada. I think I can speak for anyone when I say that hearing that first note after months of quarantine was absolutely electrifying. For me, it not only sent shivers down my spine, but it gave me hope. It represented the world of opportunities that was available to us during this crazy year. Opportunities that were not to be taken for granted. As musicians, we all love to perform. There is nothing quite like the exhilarating feeling that follows the ringing of the final note of a great performance. Whether it be playing on stage as an ensemble, sharing smiles with friends across rows, or on a football field, rocking out to popular classics in front of a roaring crowd. The act of individuals of different backgrounds coming together to play and move as one is a magical experience. The opportunity to experience this magic during our performances was unfortunately limited this year, but rather than sulking about what we had lost, we moved forward and worked to incorporate this excitement into our day-to-day rehearsals. Despite all of the obstacles this year, each ensemble has seen their fair share of successes and improvements. COVID brought a lot of changes, but despite it all, each class rose to the occasion. Although symphonic band and orchestra were both separated into 2 separate hours, each group was able to learn and grow in their own way. While challenges such as unequal instrumentation, advanced music, and online learning made making music difficult at times, each musician made the most out of the unique circumstances. This year, if nothing else, taught us the true meaning of persistence, and we have seen the results of the efforts that we have put in. The marching band received a Division I rating at Marching Festival, with straight Division I ratings from all 3 adjudicators. The program sent 7 events to the virtual State Solo and Ensemble Festival this year, and 6 of them earned Division I ratings. And finally, for the 4th year in a row, Armada Area Schools has been selected as one of the best communities for music education. The way that we responded to the challenges of this year not only gave us the opportunity to learn and grow, but it showed a true testament to the character of this program. Perhaps more than anything, this year taught us the value of connection. We yearn for a place to belong and for people to be with. In a trying time, music has provided us with just that. We're all connected by the love of music, and the common bond that exists between everyone in this program is as strong as it is unique. Being part of this program has allowed us to form new relationships and make so many fun memories that will stick with us for a lifetime. We truly wouldn't be the same people we are today without the lessons we've learned and the bonds we've created from being part of the Armada music program. Tonight, as we recognize the achievements as a number of individuals in the program, I want to say congratulations to everyone. Playing an instrument and being part of an ensemble such as this is no easy task, especially with the added obstacles of a pandemic. Between the countless hours we spend playing, practicing, and rehearsing, on top of the never-ending amount of schoolwork, playing an instrument involves a large amount of dedication that rivals that of other organizations. Everyone in this program has something to be proud of tonight. To all the seniors, here we are. It seems like just yesterday we were starting off on our instruments, squeaking while playing Mary Had a Little Lamb or the Can-Can. Today, we can look back with sentiment and admiration at how far we have come. I wish I could give you all the senior year you deserved. I wish I could rid you of all the fear, anxiety, and isolation that has accompanied these strange times. But in the wake of all these setbacks, you've gained something important. You have been tested and you have not faltered. In a year full of lasts as well as firsts, we have plowed through all of these struggles together. I know this is not the senior year you expected, but I hope you find comfort in the opportunities and memories you were able to have this year. You all contributed so much to this program, and it's unfortunate that this year will be the last we get to spend with you in our ensembles. The council wishes all of you the best of luck on your journey beyond high school. You will all be missed tremendously. For the underclassmen, this year was not easy on you either. Everyone talks about the seniors and the things they've missed out on this year, but many of you have endured your losses as well. I am more than proud of the resilience you have shown this year, and I hope you are all proud of the things you have accomplished. If there is one thing I can send you off with, it's this. Enjoy every last minute of your time left in this program. I can only imagine how many times you've heard the phrase, "It goes by fast," and how many times you will hear it over the course of your high school careers. Trust me, I've heard it my fair share of times too, and I didn't believe it entirely until this year. 3 years ago, I was among you, watching the misty-eyed seniors as they said their final goodbyes and prepared for their future endeavors. I thought this experience for me was well off into the future, but now it's staring me right in the face. Take in every little bit of the next few years, no matter how small. Enjoy your bus rides to festivals, Boeck's corny jokes, and every single note you play. I cannot wait to see the amazing things you all do in the coming years in this program. I will never forget the memories and opportunities that I have been granted through this program. Thank you for the time this evening, and thank you for such a memorable year.
All right, thank you, Kenzie, for that speech. We appreciate it greatly. Next, we'll move on to our next speaker, our president of the Band and Orchestra Council here in Armada, Jordan Krasinski. Jordan is a drum major of our marching band, in addition to being the president. And, it says my connection's unstable. Hopefully you can still hear me. Anyway, she's the drum major of our marching band, in addition to being president. She also plays clarinet in our symphonic band, where she spent the past year as principal player and our concert master of the symphonic band. So without further ado, here's the address by Jordan Krasinski.
Good evening, students and parents. I'm honored to welcome you to this year's Armada High School Band and Orchestra Banquet. Some of you may know me, but my name is Jordan Krasinski, and I'm the president of this year's Band and Orchestra Council, as well as a clarinetist in the symphonic band and senior drum major in the marching band. This year is one to remember. I hope further down the road we're able to look back and reminisce on the positive memories that have been made. For the Band and Orchestra program, this year was far from ordinary. Under the circumstances by the pandemic, transitioning into this past summer warranted questions regarding the following school year. Would we be returning in the fall? Will there be a marching band season? What would become of our concerts and festival? Yet the simplest but crucial question that was running wild in all of our heads was what would happen to our program. The following months of uncertainty dawned on all of us, sitting there aimlessly as we awaited for the updates in COVID guidelines in regard to the school year, anticipating for the words that would give us the green light for our annual activities. In years past, we could have never imagined a situation like this affecting us. The pandemic has affected everyone here in some shape or form. We couldn't have predicted the countless obstacles that we would experience in the oncoming months. Despite the challenges, there was always one individual who was there to assure us we would make the most out of this less than normal year. On behalf of the students of this program, I would like to extend our gratitude. Mr. Bobeck, thank you not only for this past year, but for all of them. Every year since I've been a member of this program, Mr. Bobeck has always said one thing. He has always told me that it was the students that made this program as successful as it is. There is some truth to his word, for I can imagine it would be rather difficult to teach music and organize performances without the students to perform with their instruments. Without students willing to learn, there would be no purpose for this program, right? Yet I don't believe that's the right answer to that question. Not everyone joins band because they want to learn how to play a clarinet that badly, or join an orchestra because they have to become a master of playing the cello. Many students wander into this program not knowing anything about their chosen instrument, or even how to read sheet music. Take it from me. In 6th grade, I walked into band wanting to play the piccolo because I thought the name was cool. Spoiler alert, the piccolo is a high school level instrument. I would first have to learn how to play the flute. I couldn't play the flute. I'm sure if you ask some students today in class, they would admit they originally joined the class as a blow-off, an easy A to get on their report card. I can guarantee that if that was their sole reason, they wouldn't be here today. You can't have an ensemble without the instrumentalist, but there can't be an ensemble without someone to lead it. Without Mr. Bobeck, this program wouldn't have been shaped into the one that exists today. As we grew into musicians, We remained in this program in high school for our love of music. Regardless of what instrument we played, we all learned to live for the intense and breath-robbing moments of performing on stage together, putting in countless hours of rehearsal both inside and outside the classroom to bring those moments to fruition. Whether we were releasing the final note of our opening piece of the concert, regrouping as we listened across the ensemble to breathe life into a beautiful lyrical piece, or pushing past the points of exhaustion to end the night with a bang, performing is a unique experience we look forward to. Without a director, getting to that point is nearly impossible. The purpose of the music program has always been to teach students how to interpret and perform together as a unit. Just like any team sport, taking the talents of individuals and using them together in order to achieve a common group goal. However, I believe I speak for my fellow peers when I say the true experience of being a member of this group is reflected upon the nurturing environment that is provided. Since day one of being a member of this program, Mr. Bowick has been a constant source of positivity and encouragement. For being a new member of the high school program, he always has gone above and beyond to not only ensure his students are taught how to be musicians, but leave with life skills that can be used when they cross that stage one final time. For being a member of this program is not only a privilege, but a unique experience that most of us will never have again. As I mentioned before, what makes this group special is not just the success we have with our musical abilities, but with the tight bonds that are formed through the family atmosphere Mr. Bowick has helped establish. The moment you walk in the doors of his classroom, you're now part of something bigger than yourself. You are now a member of a close-knit family that will be there for you through thick and thin. You have an astounding support system for you through your 4-year journey of high school. For the bonds you make aren't quite like any other. Many of us were able to meet those who we can now consider family through being a member of this band or orchestra. I can confidently say that without this program, I would have never met the friends that I have today. Especially during the events of this past year, having that support system has become as crucial as ever. No matter what was to become of our year, you always had someone to talk to, someone who was ready to have your back when you needed them, and even a shoulder to cry on when everything became overwhelming. The bonds you make within this group are ones for life. These relationships develop over time, but without the accepting environment that Mr. Bowick establishes within his classroom, forming these unique bonds wouldn't come as naturally as they do. He is always there to constantly remind us that within the group, we are never alone. We will always have at least one person there to catch us when we fall, letting us know that he will always be there for us. Whether he's telling way too many dad jokes to lighten the mood, or he's sitting with us through a more serious conversation about the appreciation he has for us, he's always there. Every year I hold my tongue, but I think more than ever it needs to be said. I have already told Mr. Bowick this a few weeks ago, but I'm going to say it once more. Put aside being humble for just 5 minutes. Place that sentiment aside and accept where credit is due. For Mr. Bowick has done much for this program, and I don't think it's recognized enough. So thank you for everything you do. For the amount of work you put in this year, the countless summer hours you spent outside of your office making this year the best it could be. The program would not be the same without you. Thank you for making us crazy teenagers have a sense of belonging. Like Mr. Bowick has stated before, the program wouldn't be the same without the students that compose these ensembles. To my fellow seniors, I would like to congratulate you and highlight the accomplishments you have made in your 4 years of being a member of this program. We're finally here, at the end of our high school journey. Our senior year wasn't exactly like how the movies made it out to be, but I know we definitely made the best of our circumstances. I would like to thank you for the memories that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Regardless of when you joined this family, you have pushed through the countless trials that were placed in our way, and you managed to make an unfortunate situation into something extraordinary. Wherever our paths may lead us, I hope that down the road our paths will cross again. For despite the way our senior year was laid out in front of us, we went running and didn't look back. Through the anxiety, the fear, and uncertainty of what was to become of this program, we survived and came out stronger than ever. Thank you for being leaders to the others around you in this time. Thank you for being such kind and wonderful friends. I wish you all the best of luck as we say our goodbyes and begin our journey to this world. To the underclassmen, this year hasn't been easier for you either. I am proud of all of you for the resilience you have shown in the face of our circumstances. The seniors lost their senior year, but you also lost a year of your high school experience. However, I'm sure regardless of what happens in the fall, your experience in this program will not falter. I'm sure Mr. Bowick already has some plans in mind to make the following year better than the last one. Cherish your time in this program. There won't be anything else like it. On behalf of the seniors, we're hopeful knowing whose hands we're handing this group over to. Thank you all for being such important parts of this group, and I hope that you all continue to spread the kindness to the incoming freshmen, the same way we did for you. And don't worry, we'll be back to visit. It's a lot harder to get rid of us than you think. I can't wait to return in within the years to see what these leaders in training have done with this program. Before I take my leave, I would like to also thank the Music Boosters for organizing and handling our funds. The boosters are still hard at work in finding new opportunities for us to purchase new and challenging music, higher quality instruments for the overall tone of our ensembles, and organizing fundraisers and other events students can participate in to raise money for their musician needs. Furthermore, I would like to also thank all the parents, especially during this year with the threat of losing jobs. I would like to dedicate some time to thank you for everything that you do. Whether you're driving your child to marching band rehearsal, listening to them practice their instrument, paying for supplies, and coming out to support them on stage. Thank you for supporting your child through this program. Overall, this year reminded me how important it is to have one another, and I know that theme will carry throughout this program. It will continue to. I will never forget the hundreds of memories I have made being a member of this program. Thank you for attending this banquet tonight to honor all the hard work we've put into this year.
Thank you very much for those kind words, Jordan. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to your peers as well. All right, next we're going to move on to our student recognitions. Normally when we do the student recognitions, each student gets a certificate and a certificate of completion for the ensemble. Unfortunately, there were some ordering backups at the place we get the certificates from. And so we have quite a bit left from last year, but probably not for everyone. So we're going to do these on a request basis. So I'm happy to print out any certificates for anybody who would like to have them. Just let me know. You can email me or send me a remind message or just come let me know in person. I will print those out for you. So we will begin with the 9th graders in our band and orchestra program. So up first, we have Tessa Aiello. She plays the bass. Liam Conan, saxophone. Jack Davis, bass. Christopher Day, trombone. Alexa Dudek, clarinet. Erica Gomel, violin. Will Harding, percussion. Abby Jones, clarinet. Dara McKenzie, violin. Emily Masterson, horn. Andrew McConnell, saxophone. Ella McIntyre, violin. Maddie Medley, flute. Jacob Mearshart, cello. Anna Middlestedt in color guard. Lindsay Nanowitz plays the violin. Luke Naraki on saxophone. Kenzie Neiman, percussion. Marty Aubry, percussion. Lucky Scully, trombone. Malia Chalvis, viola. Brendan Smith, trombone. Caitlin Thirrett, bass. Ethan Toya, trombone. Sydney Upton, violin. Giovanino Verga on trumpet. And finally, Luke Willard on violin. So congratulations to all of our 9th grade members for surviving your first year in the Armada High School Band and Orchestra program. I say this often, but our 9th graders kind of join this program. It is a 9 through 12 band and 9 through 12 orchestra program. So a lot of times the music they're playing is the same stuff that some of our best seniors are playing. And sometimes it can be very challenging for them to connect with it. But I think our 9th graders this year have done an absolutely phenomenal job in coming into the program and making a lot of new friends and doing a really great job making some very challenging music possible. All right, next we'll move on to our sophomores in the program. We have Riley Andrews on tuba, Christopher Boyd on trombone, Tim Berman, percussion, Madison Capozzo, bass, and she's a member of the color guard section, Kyle Conan, violin, Morgan Gunter, clarinet, Amanda Laban on trumpet, Hannah Miller on trombone and percussion, Alexi Mission, violin, Kayla Norad on cello, Anna Reschke, clarinet, Olivia Rossick on clarinet, Casey Russ, who played trombone initially, and I kind of half forced her to learn euphonium, and she's done a really good job. Kenzie Russ on percussion, Olivia Schomer, clarinet, Meg Sturdivant, saxophone, Sammy Sturdivant, percussion, Chloe Trudell, clarinet, Sarah White on the violin, Claire Wilcoxon on clarinet, Jack Sagaiski on saxophone, and finally, Ava Zobe on violin. So congratulations to all the sophomores in our program. Believe it or not, you're already halfway through your high school journey. So I always like to tell the sophomores, enjoy every minute while you can, because it goes pretty quick as you're starting to realize being halfway done. Next, we'll move on to the juniors in our program. And once students become juniors in our program, they start to get a little more bling. So each junior and senior, the upperclassmen members of our groups, will, in addition to their certificate, if they'd like it, I don't know how, these are probably not going to come in clear because they're so small, but you'll get these little lyre pins for, most people will put them on varsity jackets. So these are also part of that. And you can pick these up from me tomorrow if you are earning one. So beginning with our juniors, 11th grade, we have Ella Arnold, violin, Olivia Brileski on viola, Emma Cleland on clarinet, Ashley Fleming, who plays violin and is also a member of our color guard, James Harding on cello, Lexi House, trumpet, Rebecca King, violin, Tyler Klinkman, cello, Clara Kopp in our color guard, Avery Krasinski, plays violin and also in our color guard, Catherine Leprich, cello, Amy Marintet, flute, Faith McIntyre, viola, Andrew McClear, saxophone, Annie Mission, violin, Sandro Petrovsky, violin, Sarah Polzin, flute, Annika Prisby, also flute, Trevor Ramarsik on percussion, Savannah Solomon, viola and a member of our color guard section, Brooklyn Tennis on flute, Lily Thomas, percussion, Alex Volku, color guard, Reagan Weatherholt, clarinet, Rebecca White, cello, and finally for our juniors, Kayla Whitney, who plays violin and is also a member of our color guard. Congratulations, juniors. As I'm sure the seniors will tell you, you got to enjoy every moment of your senior year. It goes by quick and it's already here, believe it or not. And if you blink, you might miss it. So enjoy every moment, enjoy every last memory, and don't forget anything. Finally, moving on to our seniors. And for the seniors, I like to collect a little bit more information so we can find a little bit about their plans, and we'll kind of get into that in just a moment. So our first senior graduating in the class of 2021 is Adriana Annoni, who's a violist in our string orchestra. And Adriana plans on attending the University of Michigan next year for engineering. Next, we have Allison Barbrett, who plays violin. And I didn't get her survey results, but I remember talking to her, I believe, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I believe her plan is to attend Wayne State University next year, and she was planning on going into education design. Next, we have Kendall Essenmacher. Kendall plays clarinet and was also a drum major of our marching band. Kendall will be attending Michigan State University in the fall and most likely majoring eventually into pre-law or international business or education. Sorry, I missed the education one. Next up, we have Jessica Jarima, a trumpet player in our symphonic band. And her plan is to go to Macomb Community College next year to finish out. She's a member of the early college program that we offer here in Armada. So she'll be finishing out the 13th year next year. And then she plans to transfer to, or not transfer, but enroll in a 4-year university. And her plan is to major in engineering. Up next, we have Jordan Krasinski, who plays clarinet and symphonic band, is also a drum major. Jordan will be attending Saginaw Valley State University for psychology. Jessica Laban, a violinist. She'll be heading over to Indiana Tech to study pre-law. Next, we have Anthony Wynn. Anthony plays trumpet in our symphonic band, and unfortunately, I did not find out where Anthony, what his plans are for next year, but we wish Anthony the best of luck in his future endeavors. Next, we have Shannon Lecluse. Shannon plays flute. And next year, she'll be attending Macomb Community College, studying both firefighting and going into paramedics. Next, we have Mackenzie Mearshart, violist in our string orchestra. And Mackenzie will be going to Michigan State University next fall, and she'll be studying biomedical engineering. Next, we have Peyton Miller, violinist in our orchestra program. She'll be going to Siena Heights University, studying both musical theater and communications. Aubrey Nanowitz plays the cello, and she'll be going to Madonna University, studying forensic science and technology. Next, we have Kaylee Neiman, a member of our percussion section. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to find out from her where she'll be going either. But again, we wish Kaylee the best of luck in her studies or in her future endeavors next year. Next, we have Emma Pisani, a cello player. And she plans on attending a community college next year and then transferring the following year to a 4-year university. And once she does that, she will be majoring in fine arts. Next, we have Lexi Simmons, who plays the flute. Lexi will be attending Macomb Community College, studying social work. Emma Smith, a clarinet player, will plan on attending Oakland Community College to study criminal justice. Emmy Spiga plays the violin, and she'll be attending Macomb Community College and eventually plans to study marine biology. Maya Travis is a violist in our orchestra, and she'll also be attending Macomb Community College and is undecided on her major at this point. Next, we have Audrey Walker. Audrey plays the flute, and she plans to attend Kalamazoo College to study biology and pre-vet. And finally, for our 2021 seniors, we have Tim Williams. Tim plays the tuba and plans on attending Macomb Community College to study communication technologies next year. So congratulations to all of our seniors. One thing I started doing, and I think this ended up being a big hit last year, is I also ask a few questions of our seniors, but I tell them these questions will be, basically I'm going to read the responses to these questions anonymously. So you won't know who said any of them. Some of them you might be able to tell from context clues or what have you, but I just like hearing from the seniors and hearing from their time over the past 4 years in our program here and some of their memories. And sometimes these can be kind of funny. Sometimes they can be very serious. So here we go. So the first one, we'll start with funny. And the question that I asked of our seniors is, what is your funniest memory from band or orchestra? So here are some of the responses. So the first one says, freshman year when it was pouring rain and we were all told to go to our cabin, but instead the girls put on bathing suits and did a concentration block in the pouring rain. When we did the dance freshman year at band camp in the chapel, and a senior that I didn't know very well asked me to slow dance, and it was really awkward. Bobek screaming randomly and running into a wall. Trumpet horse noise auditions. Bobek tossing chairs and stands across the room. I don't really remember that, but man, these kids are making me sound to be a terrible person here. All right, next, when Jenna Purdy had her ice cream in one hand and her bag was falling off her shoulder and yelling, help, help, while me and Donna were laughing at her and couldn't help because we had to pee so bad and basically crawled on the floor to the bathroom laughing so hard. And then there was like 6 or 7 responses, all alluding to the same event, which I picked one student who I think most vividly captured what took place here. And this happened in orchestra class. There are so many funny memories to choose, but my favorite has to be the one time during sectionals. This particular day, Mr. Bobek decided he was a ninja. He used his best ninja abilities to sneak up on the violas who were practicing in the auditorium. After a somewhat successful mission, he ran back to the band room where he breathlessly celebrated his victory. He then joyfully showed us the video from the auditorium security camera. What a legend. So I do remember that one. That was a funny day. Anyway, moving on to the next senior question here, and we ask, what is your most memorable moment from band or orchestra? And here are some of their responses. When we almost got hit by a train marching in the parade in Richmond. Bobek's TikTok and raincoat vids that barely anyone watched. Our very last time marching on the football field. When the orchestra received a Division I rating at State Band and Orchestra Festival. My last concert with Adriana. The lantern ceremony. I remember giving my senior lantern ceremony speech. I told everyone to place their hand on their heart and to look up at the stars, and reminded them that they had a purpose on this earth, and if they felt they didn't, felt like they didn't, they did here. That was probably one of the most empowering moments. Also, the last game when Jordan marched the band back on track, and everyone was yelling, and I heard some people cheer my name, and I started crying because I felt so uplifted and full of pure happiness. I copied and pasted these verbatim, so I'm working through some of the grammar issues as we go. There were plenty of memorable moments. I enjoyed nearly every day of orchestra class. My favorite moment was being given the senior speech from Bobek. It was a long time coming, and I'm proud to be a part of this program. My second favorite has to be whenever we, as an ensemble, succeeded, such as receiving a Division I rating at State Festival my freshman year. Next, we're going to move on to the next question here, which is, what advice would you give to the underclassmen band and orchestra students? I would tell them not to be worried about anything and stick with band or orchestra throughout high school, because you will make so many new friends and it'll be like one big family. Always be confident you're playing and yourself, no matter what. You only have those small moments for a portion of your life, and make sure to be yourself unapologetically. Be as involved as you can, because some of your best memories will come from this group, and you never know how much you love something until you leave. Enjoy every moment. Put yourself out there and enjoy high school. It goes fast. Do what you love. Don't get too nervous about your level of playing your instrument. Everyone is constantly learning, and you will not be alone. Take it all in. I promise you're going to look back at these moments as some of the best times of your life, and you're not going to want to take any of it for granted. Come in with an open mind and a positive spirit. The days are long, but the years are short. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Put yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's where the most growth happens. And finally, don't be scared. Also, don't be shy. This class is a safe place for you, and these people will become like a family. Maybe you don't talk to all of them every day, but each and every person in this class will drop everything to help you if you ever needed it. That's the special thing about these classes. We all want to see each other succeed. The next question I asked is, why does this organization mean so much? The first response says, it gave me a sense of familiarity when nothing else seemed stable at school. Classes are always changing, but orchestra was a constant. The people were a constant. And as the time went on, it taught me to become more of a leader. It let me be outspoken. This organization has ultimately shaped me into who I am today, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. Not to mention the unbreakable friendships I have created throughout the years in orchestra class. It's safe to say that I'm going to miss it immensely. Everyone is included. There's no bench warmers. Each and every person makes up of an extremely important role in the band. You gain an immense amount of leadership that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You won't be the same person after going through marching band, in the most positive way, of course. I am forever changed because of the legacy of this band program. Because of the dynamics of leadership and community, these people can create an environment where you are supported and you can truly be yourself. I've always been into music, and everyone in the program is like a second family to me. And finally, it's a place where everyone is welcomed and encouraged. Oh, nope, I had one more for that one, I guess. Every individual is connected by their love of music, and individuals from different backgrounds can come together to play and move as one. And then finally, I asked if they had anything else to say. Didn't get many responses, but I have a couple here to share. So this one says, thank you for everything and good luck next year. A great big thank you to Mr. Bobek for being the best teacher I've ever had. Thank you for making sure I succeed not only in class, but in life. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to make sure your students are okay. It means so much to me. So once again, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, whoever said that. Eyes pride, always. And finally, it goes by so fast, and I'm so grateful to have been part of this organization. It has changed my life for the better, and I cannot believe it's already over. So congratulations to all of our seniors class of 21. I said this at the concert, but please don't be strangers. Come back and visit. We want to hear how things are going in the rest of your life. And I know you're going to go and do good things. And it would be great to catch up with you from time to time and see you at a concert or two. And hopefully our program will be running as strong as it did when you were here. All right, next we're going to move on to our varsity letter presentations. So the Armada Instrumental Music Varsity Letter looks like this. It's kind of a cool design with the music staff here for the cross brace of the A. And students at Armada with our instrumental music program can earn their instrumental varsity music letter in 2 different ways. And the first way and the most common way is by participating in our ensembles for a full year, and also participating in one significant extracurricular music event. For most students, that extracurricular music event ends up being solo and ensemble, but in more normal years, you could also earn that through participating in the pit orchestra as part of our musical, joining a honors band or honors orchestra, such as the Oakland Youth Orchestra or the Detroit Civic Youth Ensembles, plenty of honors bands at colleges and MSBOA. Unfortunately, a lot of those events didn't happen this year, so we don't have quite as many varsity letter recipients as we normally would. However, students can also earn their varsity letter by successful completion of 3 consecutive years in our marching band program. And this year, the following students will be receiving their varsity letters in music. And again, for the rest of the awards today, students, you're welcome to come find me tomorrow, either in class, or if you don't have me, you can sneak in here before or after school, and I can give you any of the awards that you were looking to grab. So if you win if you are receiving a varsity letter tonight, I will have those for you available tomorrow. And our varsity letter recipients, we have Tim Berman, Madison Capozzo, Ashley Fleming, Jacob Mearshart, Alexi Mission, Emmy Spiga, and Ava Zobe. So congratulations to our varsity letter recipients. If for some reason you believe you should have received a varsity letter or a chevron and I don't announce your name tonight, please let me know. Unfortunately, we kind of had some snags with the varsity letter applications and with some people submitting them virtually and things. So if for some reason I missed you, we will recognize you. We will give you the varsity letter, but please just let me know and we will take care of that. Moving on to our chevron presentations. And the chevrons are similar to the varsity letter. Essentially, they are like varsity letter bonuses for once you already earn your varsity letter. If you qualify for the varsity letter in subsequent years, you can earn what's called a chevron. And these stack on top of each other. And generally on a varsity jacket, most people put them on a shoulder, but they can go various places also. And some people put them up, some people put them down. There's a lot of different ways you can use those. And so our chevron recipients are for students who have already received the varsity letter in music, as I had mentioned previously, and also have participated in one extracurricular music activity, or if they served as a leader in a leadership capacity of the Tiger Marching Band. And this year's recipient of chevrons will be Adriana Anoni, Kendall Essenmacher, Jessica Jarima, Clara Kopp, Jordan Krasinski, Amy Marintet, Andrew McClear, Mackenzie Mearshart, Aubrey Nanowitz, Lexi Simmons, and Savannah Solomon. So congratulations to all of our chevron winners as well. I kind of organized everything on my desk, but I still got to rifle through everything as we go here. So next we'll move on to our awards for the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association. And they have a couple of awards that we'll give out tonight. First, I'm going to read a little blurb from MSBOA about the organization. So hopefully you guys are all aware of what MSBOA is. The Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association is an organization of over 1,600 band and orchestra educators throughout Michigan dedicated to improving school instrumental music in Michigan. Founded on a single district basis in 1934, it has grown to 16 regional district associations in both peninsulas, serving over 1,900 public, parochial, and private schools. Through numerous student-oriented activities such as festivals, workshops, and teacher in-service functions, MSBOA strives to provide continual growth for instrumental music. Each year, over 100,000 students in Michigan participate in MSBOA festivals, either individually or as a part of larger groups. So this year, we're going to begin with our State Solo and Ensemble Proficiency Awards, which we actually didn't end up getting to give out last year because there was no state solo and ensemble. So the virtual event that did take place this year is considered a state level solo and ensemble function. And as a soloist, if you make it to state solo and ensemble, you have the option of entering what's called a proficiency examination. And the proficiency examination is a little bit more than just a standard solo, in that similar to our chair placement auditions here in Armada, students also have to do either scales or specific percussion rudiments or techniques, and sometimes sight reading. Now, with it being a pandemic this year, the sight reading portion was omitted. MSBUA couldn't find a reasonable way to make that happen logistically for our students. It will be back next year, assuming we are back to in-person festivals. So we had 2 students in the Armada Band and Orchestra program participate as proficiency soloists at State Solo Ensemble, so we want to recognize them. The proficiency examinations come in 3 tiers. So generally a student who enters a proficiency examination for their first time will enter what's called level 1 or proficiency 1. If they pass their proficiency 1 examination, then the following year they can enter proficiency 2. And then the year after that, they can enter the top level, which is proficiency 3. So we're going to begin with our proficiency 1 student, and this is awarded to Tim Berman, who earned a score of 69 out of a total of 75 on his proficiency 1 snare drum solo. So congratulations, Tim. And finally, our second proficiency examination was also a score of 69, but this time a proficiency 2 viola solo. And this will go to Mackenzie Mearshart. So congratulations to Tim and Mackenzie for both successfully passing your proficiency examinations as part of the MSBUA State Solo and Ensemble Festival. All right, and next we move on to what's called the MSBUA Scholar Instrumentalist Award. The Michigan School Band and Orchestra Association Scholar Instrumentalist Award is to honor an exceptional instrumentalist in each school program. This is the only award sanctioned by MSBUA that recognizes a student for their work outside of simply their performing ability. Each MSBUA member school is able to nominate 1 band or orchestra student for this award each year. This award is to honor those students who have superior academics, participate in many MSBUA festivals throughout the year, and maintain membership in a large ensemble throughout their schooling career. This year's recipient of the MSBUA Scholar Instrumentalist Award is Mackenzie Mearshart. Congratulations, Mackenzie. And next we will move on to the National Instrumentalist Awards. Now, this has a lot of blurbs that they asked me to read, so I ask of your patience as I get through the blurb for each award. So beginning with the initiation of these awards, started in 1955, the National Instrumentalist Awards are presented at high schools across the United States to honor top students for their achievements and dedication to the band and orchestra programs. Voted on by the students' peers, these awards are considered to be the gold standard in instrumental music awards and are considered to be the highest achievements that a high school musician can achieve within the Scholastic Instrumental Music Program. The Armada High School Instrumental Music Program recognizes the achievements of a select few students who go above and beyond the expectations of being a member of the organization. Considerations for such awards include musical achievements, leadership within the organization, and involvement within the organization. These awards are voted on by the members of the ensembles, and the decisions should be given much consideration. So that's one of my favorite parts about these awards, is that it isn't, my opinion really doesn't play any factor into this. It's truly a representation of their peers for each of these awards. So they did vote on these awards earlier this season, or earlier this school year. And so here are the results. So we're gonna actually start with Jazz Band Awards, which you might find funny because we didn't have Jazz Band this year. But I want to make everyone aware of something that happened that I'm not sure many know. So unfortunately, the school district cut jazz band this year. All 0-hour classes were cut. It wasn't a direct attack on the jazz band or anything. But just because of the pandemic, I think it was an attempt to just limit as many student interactions as possible. And that was a situation where there'd be many students interacting again together. And we were trying to avoid that at all costs. So hopefully our jazz ensemble will be back next year as the 0-hour ensemble. But when many of our jazz students here at the high school found out there wasn't going to be a jazz band class offered, many of them took it up to meet in, I don't even know whose basement it was, but they all got together and met in a student's basement and asked me for some music that they could play, and they still kind of did it, which I think just is a testament to what I was speaking to earlier with these students, is that we just have some of the best students in Armada, and it was so cool to watch them do that. Unfortunately, I never got to hear what that sounded like, but hopefully they enjoyed their time doing that, and hopefully we will have jazz band back in future years. So beginning with our Jazz Band Awards, and we just asked students to vote on these as if they were in the members of the jazz band or know students who they felt were strong jazz players. So up first, the Woody Herman Award was created in 1988, shortly after Herman's death, to honor outstanding jazz students. It serves as a runner-up to the Louis Armstrong Award to honor an outstanding student in jazz. A jazz band student in any grade level is eligible to win this award. And this year's recipient of the Woody Herman Award for Jazz is Andrew McClear. Congratulations, Andrew. The Louis Armstrong Award was introduced in 1974 with the approval of his widow, Lucille Armstrong, to honor outstanding jazz students. It honors an outstanding jazz musician at each high school. This award is given to the top senior jazz band student. This year's recipient of the Louis Armstrong Award for Jazz, and this comes with a few different components here. The winner of the Louis Armstrong Award for Jazz is Jordan Krasinski, and she will receive a little certificate package as well as a little desk piece. All right, those are the Jazz Band Awards. Next, we're going to move on to our Orchestra Awards. The Director's Award for Orchestra is given to the top freshman in the string orchestra. It is to recognize the individual who most exemplifies the qualities of a top orchestra student, somebody that is hardworking, dedicated, excels musically, etc. And I'm pleased to report this year's recipient of the Director's Award for Orchestra is Jack Davis. Congratulations, Jack. And next we will move on to the National School Orchestra Award. The National School Orchestra Award is the highest honor you can bestow upon the high school string orchestra for excellence in playing and contributions to the ensemble. The award is the orchestral counterpart to the John Philip Sousa Award for Band. A string orchestra student in any grade level is eligible to win this award. And I'm pleased to announce that this year's recipient of the National School Orchestra Award goes to Mackenzie Mearshart. Congratulations, Mackenzie. And moving on to our next award. And these are now, we're into our band awards. The National School Color Guard Award is to recognize the outstanding contributions of a member of the school color guard unit. It honors the musical contributions, leadership, and dedication of a color guard member whose example inspires others. Any color guard student is eligible to win this award. This year's recipient of the National School Color Guard Award is Clara Kopp. Congratulations, Clara. Next, we'll move on to the Director's Award for Band. So similarly to the Orchestra Award, this is for 9th grade students. The Director's Award for Band is given to the top freshman in the symphonic band. It is to recognize the individual who most exemplifies the qualities of a top band student. Hardworking, excels musically, dedicated, etc. This year's recipient of the Director's Award for Band goes to Giovannino Verga. Congrats, Nino. And next we have the Patrick Gilmore Award. The Patrick Gilmore Award was introduced in 1994 to honor in honor of the legendary 19th century bandmaster and impresario Patrick Gilmore. The award honors an additional student in the high school band that did not win the John Philip Sousa Award. A symphonic band student in any grade level is eligible to win this award. This year's recipient of the Patrick Gilmore Award for Band is Jack Zagajski. And our final award of the National Instrumentalist Award Series is the John Philip Sousa Award. The John Philip Sousa Award was introduced in 1955 to honor outstanding dedication and superior musicianship in the high school band. It was created with the cooperation of Helen Sousa Albert and Priscilla Sousa, daughters of the famous composer and bandmaster, and has become the pinnacle of achievement for band students. The John Philip Sousa Award is considered the highest honor that a school instrumental music program can bestow upon one of its students. In addition, the recipient of the John Philip Sousa Award will be added to the National Registry of Sousa Award winners. And this registry can be viewed online at www.sousawinners.com. And I'm pleased to report that this year's recipient of the John Philip Sousa Award for Band is Jordan Krasinski. And that concludes our awards portion of the night. So congratulations to those select few students who were recognized for their contributions to the band and orchestra program. Next, we will move on to our marching band student leadership team for the 2021 marching season. And I will say this is always one of my least favorite parts of this banquet, just because, well, even this year we had a record number of students apply for leadership positions within the marching band, which is great. I love to see that our students in this program want to take ownership and agency in what they do and have a voice and have a say and be able to support in a leadership role. The challenge with having so many students apply for leadership roles is it means that unfortunately there's going to be a lot of students that go home today without the title that they were hoping for. And it really breaks my heart. And the reality is just about every student in this band, everybody that applied for leadership, I know for a fact would do a phenomenal job in that leadership role. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, we're forced with some tough decisions and have to select leaders based on everything, all the evidence we can collect are just their application, the interview process, their leadership throughout the marching season, and their musical abilities, and so many more things. So I ask this, and I speak this to all of our leadership applicants each year, but I just remind you to not, if you don't get the title that you were hoping for tonight, do not let that stop you from doing the leadership things that you need to do with this band. The reality is that title doesn't mean a whole lot. And we've talked about this before, that leadership in its simplest form and its simplest definition of being a leader is having followers. And the reality is a title doesn't give you followers. It's what you do and the leadership and the role modeling that you do for other students in this program. So I always tell, I know Mr. Critchett, I don't know if Mr. Critchett's on here or not. He said he might join, but I always tell the story of Mr. Critchett. When he was back in high school, he had auditioned for drum major several times and unfortunately never was selected for that position. But he didn't let that stop him from doing the leadership things with that band program that he knew he needed to do. And he kept doing that even into his senior year, and honestly had earned the respect of the band as if he was one of the head leaders of the band program. And there's no reason that couldn't happen here in Armada too. So don't let titles get in the way of doing what you can for this band, or I guess specifically band in this case program. So the process is pretty involved for our section leaders. Our section leaders had to submit an application to me as well as go through an interview process. And our drum major candidates went through a rather extensive process to get to this point where they apply and train with our current drum majors for a week to learn some skills pertinent to being a drum major. Then they interview with myself and the two current drum majors, Jordan Krasinski and Kendall Essenmacher. We talk it all over. Oh, Mr. Critchett is here. I see it in here right now. Hi, Mr. Critchett. Anyway, we talk that over, and we come up with our best selection, and we don't always know that we get the right answers, but we do the best we can given everyone's interview and everyone's process of selecting 4 finalists who will audition in front of the entire marching band. Those students audition in front of the whole band, and then the band ultimately votes on who they would like to see as the next year's drum majors. So anyway, we'll begin with the, next year's marching band student leadership team, beginning with our color guard section. So next year's flag captain will be Alex Fulku. Next year's captain of weaponry, Kayla Whitney. Next year's dance captain, Clara Kopp. And then moving on to our wins, we will have flute section leader, Amy Marintet. Clarinet section leader, Abby Jones. Alto saxophone and mellophone section leader, Jack Zagaiski. Trumpet section leaders, Lexi House and Amanda Laban. Low brass and low woodwinds section leaders, Andrew McClear and Casey Russ. And finally, we will have battery captain, Lily Thomas. So congratulations to next year's Tiger Marching Band leadership team. And next we'll move on to next year's Tiger Marching Band field command. And we'll begin with next year's head color guard captain. Our 2021 head color guard captain, Alex Volku. And then next up we have our next year's drum majors, and we're actually in a particularly interesting year in that we have 2 outgoing senior drum majors, which doesn't happen very often. Normally it's only 1. So we will actually be appointing 2 new drum majors in front of our marching band tonight. Our drum majors will receive a black and orange Helix lanyard, as well as an Acme Thunder professional command whistle. And then they will also be able to borrow our school's drum major maces that get used on performances, game days, and parades. So our first new drum major of the Tiger Marching Band, we will have junior drum major, Anna Reschke. Congrats, Anna. And then next, joining Anna on the podium next year, we will have senior drum major, Ashley Fleming. So congratulations to all of our marching band leadership members. I was gonna play the halftime show announcement today, but some of our students already figured out that it was Justin Bieber and his greatest hits. So excited about the Bieber show next year. Okay, I can't keep a straight face for that. I tried, but it didn't work. Yeah, we're not doing Bieber next year. Sorry if we have any diehard believers in our band, but yeah, I don't know if I could handle an entire marching season of Justin Bieber. So without further ado, I guess before we go here, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the banquet. I know it's not as ideal as an in-person banquet, but I really do appreciate that you took time out of your evening to join us for this night of awards and celebrations. And you know, I really look forward to finishing out this school year with a bang and then being back next year, hopefully back to normal, and we can be strong as ever. So thanks again for tuning in. And without further ado, here is the 2021 Tiger Marching Band halftime field show announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Armada Tiger Marching Band 2021 halftime field show. As the sun sets on a picturesque day, nighttime falls upon us. The birds have stopped their singing, and the sun has gone to bed. As the critters of the night begin to make their noises, a large bird soars across the star-filled sky. This year, the Tiger Marching Band takes you on a musical journey through the night in our 2021 field show titled Into the Darkness. Our adventure begins with fire. The fire that burns represents where we come from, who we are, and what we aspire to be. It's time to light 'em up as we open our show with My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. we spread our wings and shoot for the stars, we can soar to new heights and experience new perspectives. Just like the owl that flew overhead at dusk, we continue our show with Fly By Night. Our night flight continues as we learn to trust our instincts, close our eyes, and leap. From the major Broadway musical Wicked, we present Defying Gravity. Well, our musical journey nears its end. But who says we can't have a little fun first? We close our show with this staple from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is The Time Warp. All right, this concludes the 2021 Armada High School Band and Orchestra virtual banquet. Thank you very much for logging in, and congratulations to all the students on a great year despite the many challenges we faced, and I look forward to being back in the fall for another great school year. So have a great night.